Global Fight Talk here. I'm your host, Lisa Marie, and on the line we have IBF World Champion Jennifer Han. Jennifer Han had took the belt last year in September to become the first ever, I want to say first female, first person ever in El Paso to bring home the gold. Jennifer's been fighting for so many years now, not just in boxing, but in martial arts itself, from karate to kickboxing, and, she also boxed as an amateur. Now she's a professional fighter with a record of 13-3-1. And we're going to talk, we're going to touch base with her, see what's going on, and hopefully she'll be defending her title soon. Jennifer, how's it going?
Good. How are you, Lisa?
I'm good. Thank you so much for calling in. We haven't talked in a while, and I know that you won the title last year, and of course you and I are Facebook friends. So I'm always keeping up to date on what's going on with your fighting career. We're going to touch base about your IBF champion, and then we're going to have to throw it back. You know how they call it throwback Thursdays, and we're going to reminisce on your career. But how did it feel? You've had some time now to feel like a world champion, but that day after you won, how did it feel? What was going through your mind?
I was so excited to fight in El Paso last year for the IBF World title, but after I won, it felt like finally all the hard work paid off, and I was finally a world champion. It was the best experience ever, because I had fought for the world title previously before September 19 last year, and I didn't.
Was that in Japan? Was that in Japan or somewhere? Did you go overseas? Okay.
Yes. I fought in Korea for the IFBA world title, and fought the best fight up until that point, and I didn't get the decision and was really, really crushed, really disappointed. But then I got another opportunity to fight for the IBF title, and it was just like, yes. I was so,
right.
It was like so overwhelming to finally win a world championship.
I bet it is. Now, you defeated Helen Joseph. Helen is from Nigeria, but now she lives in Ghana. I believe that's how you pronounce it.
Yes.
How hard was that to bring her into the States? Because I could have sworn I read, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys were supposed to fight before and she couldn't get her visa, or was it something, did I read that wrong?
Yeah, no, you got it correct. It was actually difficult. She was supposed to fight me. The fight got postponed twice because she didn't make it to her visa interview, so I guess things were difficult over where she was at. But she finally got her visa interview approved, and then she made it to the U.S. in September. But it was really upsetting because we were supposed to fight in December, then we were supposed to fight in April, and finally it happened last year in September. But she was an amazing fighter. I have a lot of respect for Helen Joseph, and I expect big things from her. I don't think she's stopping anytime soon.
Now, you guys have a similar background, because her, too, she comes from martial arts, kickboxing, and stuff like that. I think a lot of females come from a background like that, because back then, boxing wasn't big for females. I started out kickboxing prior to transferring over to boxing, and I did a little bit of karate when I was little. I think everybody did when they were young at some point in their life. But we're gonna, do what?
I agree with you, because a lot of female boxers, like you said, they didn't have a lot of opportunities for boxing, but karate and taekwondo and kickboxing, they were awesome. I miss using my feet, but it's okay.
Well, we're going to take it back, okay? Now, before you were a pro boxer, now world champion, you used to compete in an organization called WCL, World Combat League, which is ran by Chuck Norris. And you competed that for a while. And then, of course, you helped run your father's school, back in El Paso. You're a black belt. I'm sure you have degrees under that black belt. You've been doing it for so long. And how was it fighting for WCL? And at any point, did you get to meet Chuck Norris?
I did.
Awesome.
The WCL was really one of the best kickboxing experiences I ever had. My brother actually was also in the league with me. I fought for the St. Louis Enforcers, and he fought for the New York Clash. And so we were on separate teams, but that's okay. We got to meet Chuck Norris. He would actually show up to like some of the big events. Like he'd come to the weigh-ins, he'd come to the fights. He actually spoke to me after I suffered one of my most devastating losses. But the WCL was really a great professional fighting league. That was like the coolest thing ever. We had teams, we had teammates. We got to fight. They would have like a first half and a second half. It was so cool. I was so disappointed when they didn't have a season 3, but that was the most fun I'd ever had fighting. Period. Because they would pay our way to go travel. We fight on national TV, and I mean nothing beats that. Like I wish something like that would happen again.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember watching it. I remember my husband and I talked about it. That was the time when I stopped kickboxing, and I stopped kickboxing because I wound up tearing my meniscus, and they wanted to have surgery, and I was like, I don't want to do that. You know, I've known a lot of people who had surgery in their knees, and like sometimes it doesn't get better. Sometimes it feels like it gets worse. So I just stopped doing that, and I was just going to not even concentrate on boxing. I was just in there just to, to work out, and it just so happened I wound up fighting. And I even had the pleasure of you and I being in the ring together. I think it was like 4 or 5 years ago here in Fort Worth under the Paula Ayala card. I remember having the pleasure of standing on the other side of the ring with you and my husband, he's not from El Paso, but he lived there at one point, and their family comes from royalty as far as martial arts like you guys do. And let me ask you this. I always, Derwin, my husband, he's always talking about karate and the footwork and everything, and how he tries to incorporate that into boxing. Do you ever incorporate any of your style into boxing as far as karate goes?
Yes, definitely. I think what makes me a unique boxer is that I do have a lot of martial arts footwork, and like your husband says, I try to incorporate it when I'm doing my boxing, and I do focus on maneuvering and moving out of the way and being able to counter after I maneuver. So I think martial arts has helped me greatly in my boxing. My boxing coach will say that I do have a lot of bad habits from martial arts, but I'm working on it. But I do I do like the footwork, and it was such a great pleasure to fight you, Lisa. You are an amazing fighter, and I'm so proud of what you've accomplished. And you're
Thank
great.
You so much.
You're a great female role model, and I'm so happy that you get to bring us up. So, congratulations.
That's awesome.
To you.
I try. Yeah, I'm trying. After I fought you, I'll never forget, because prior to fighting you, I was known to be more of a brawler type fighter. And I think after I fought you, there was a 4-year layoff of me not fighting. Not because I didn't want to fight. I wanted to concentrate. And I remember talking to you when I saw you the second time around after our fight that I was going to do, MMA. And I was concentrating on that. It was after that point that I fought you, because I always remember my husband talking about the footwork of martial arts, of karate and the blitz and all that stuff. I never got that and the blocking of it. And then until one day I was watching him fight, and then I kind of remembered our fighting. And I was like, you know what? I need to learn that. I need to learn that style. And for those 4 years, I've practiced becoming more of a boxer and more the sweet science of boxing and the counterpuncher and the side step and all this other stuff. Now that I, fast forward 4 years later, that's what I do now. I love the blitz, something that karate does a lot. I love that. Boxing has a similar style with the footwork, but something about karate is just a little bit more different than boxing. Every footwork of each style is different. I like to incorporate both, but there's just certain things that I just take from karate, and I put it into boxing, and it really does messes up people when you do it. Because I remember when you were doing it, it was frustrating so much. And I was like, oh, my God. And every time I went back to my corner, my husband knew exactly what you were doing because that's his style. That's his style. And he knows how to fight that style. I didn't. I've never fought a style like that before, so it was quite frustrating. And I remember after that fight, I vowed to myself, I'm going to learn how to do this. I'm going to learn. I'm going to take my time, and I'm going to learn. And I love it, and it does give people a hard time trying to figure it out. By the time they figure it out, the fight's already over. So I think it's awesome. But you're from El Paso, born and raised, and you're a college graduate. You helped run your father's school. You're an IBF World Champion. Your family fights A.B. Han, your sisters. What do you not do? Like, seriously, you do all this time. When do you have any playtime, any fun time?
Well, right now I have to get back to focusing on training because I'm supposed to be fighting next month. But the holidays were really nice. The holidays were really nice this time because I got recognized in El Paso, and I got to spend time with my sister. Stephanie had a baby, and so I'm a proud auntie now, and the holidays were just wonderful. I got to spend time with my family and kind of enjoy being a champion for a bit. But now we're turning up the training, and I need to focus on whoever I'm going to be fighting for next month.
So are you going to be defending your title next month, or is this just a regular fight?
No,
you're going to be defending.
This will be defending the IBF championship, and I'm really excited about it. I don't know who, when, or where I'm fighting yet, but I know it will be next month. Okay.
You recently attended along with all the other world champions. I don't know if it was in Tijuana, New Mexico. It was the WBC conference or something like that. How was that? Going to that and meeting legends and other women that paved the way for yourself, myself, a lot of other women now. And I know one of the persons I look up besides you is Alicia Slick Key. I'm not sure. What's your last name, Alicia?
Ashley. Alicia Ashley.
Alicia Ashley. There you go. I'm thinking of the singer Alicia Keys. Okay, Alicia Ashley. And she just won a title at 49 years old, and now she's in the Guinness Book of World Records. How amazing is that? You met a lot of people. You met a lot of people. What was the most amazing thing about that?
Yeah, it was the WBC convention. It was the second Women's World Boxing Council convention in Tijuana, Mexico, and that was such an inspirational event to go to. So when they have it next year, you got to go, Lisa. Like, it's really nice. It's all the female champions from all over the world try their best to make it out, and you get to network and learn from them. And Alicia Ashley is so inspirational. She's in the Guinness Book of World Records. Actually, she has 2 awards because one was for being the oldest female champion, which was several years ago, and then one was for regaining her title last year. She fought, I think, Christina McMahon from Ireland.
Yes.
And she got her WBC championship. And now she's the oldest champion, period. She beat Bernard Hopkins by several months. So.
Oh, really? See, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, she beat Bernard Hopkins, so she's the oldest champion, male or female. And she really is an amazing woman because she's, I don't know if she's 48 or 49, but she looks like she's 20. She fights amazing. She still moves better than people half her age. And, yeah, I want to be like her when I grow up. I really do.
Yeah, definitely. And you know what's so crazy? She did kickboxing. She was a kickboxer.
Yes,
she competed in that. And I remember watching a documentary on her, and she said that helped her move. Her movement in boxing helped her because of kickboxing, karate and stuff. And people got to realize that you got to learn that stuff, man. That really helps. I'm not even gonna, lie about it. I fought two people that had a karate background. That was yourself and this other girl from Houston, and she did a lot of blitz, coming in, and you're just like, what? You did a lot of side steps and angles, which boxing does teach angles and stuff, but it was different. It was different, and like I said, you guys are the only two people that I fought with that style, and I was just like, man, I got to learn how to do that. I got to learn how to do it because it does takes time to figure out that style. But hey, I'm getting there. You know what? It's
you back in the ring.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm really hoping to fight sometime in May. Right now, I got a phone call, and either it's going to be this year or last year would be my last year of fighting. I'm getting up there in age, so. But then after I saw, Alicia Ashley, I was like, I don't know, maybe I could still keep going. I don't know. She gives us hope. She gives us hope. I don't know, but she gives us hope, and people put an emphasis on age, like there's a time limit on age, but it's all mental. It really is. It's all mental. You got to be strong mentally for the fight game itself. But Jennifer, they call you the sweetheart. That's your fight name, and there's a reason behind that. If anybody ever had the pleasure of meeting you in person, you are the sweetest person I've ever met. Like you really have. Like you don't have not one bad thing to say about anyone. You're very humble. Your personality is different from anything I've ever talked to in fighters. And so it's a pleasure always talking to you, and it's great to see someone that I fought in the past now being a world champion. You got the IBF title. What is after that? What do you want after the IBF World Championship title? What do you go after next?
There's actually a lot of opportunities because in my weight class, the IBF is not the only world championship in featherweight division. There's the WBC, the WBA, and I think someone just fought for the WBO title. So there's going to be a lot more opportunities. I'm really excited for my division, and I hope, like they did with the WCL, they put the females on TV, and then the public will know who we are, not just our hometowns. And if they can do that, just like how MMA does it with Ronda Rousey and Holly Holmes, I think women's boxing is going to blow up. And I'm really hoping and excited for the future of female boxing because after I defend this title in March, I hope more doors will open and I'll get a chance to fight. Soledad Matisse is Lucas Matisse's sister, and she has the WBC and the WBA title.
Oh,
so
wow.
I don't know if I have to go to Argentina, but I would love to fight her, and I hope I get those opportunities. I have to talk to my team and see what's next for me, but I'm not done yet, and I would love those huge opportunities.
Right. It's a good thing that you mentioned MMA versus boxing.
Mm-hmm.
Women's boxing has always been on the map, always been. And a point in life, there was one point in life where boxing was big, when you had Layla Ali, you had Christy Martin, you had Lucia Riker, Ann Wolf. They all fought on TV at one point. I'm not going to say at one point, but in their generation. What happened after that, I'm not too sure, because it just kind of fizzled after that. And you don't see women's boxing as big as MMA. And I think that's where boxing, to me, boxing's still more like the good old boys type. And we need to get where it is in MMA, because when you're about to make your debut in MMA or you're about to fight, everybody in the whole world knows about you in your first MMA fight. In boxing, you're just local. But in MMA, I remember I was getting ready to fight, and there was articles written on me, like, all over, and I was like, wow, this is different. This is real different. And I don't know, maybe we need to take a page out of MMA and see why they promote women so much better than they do in boxing. But I'm really hoping, especially that Holly Holmes, she started out also as a kickboxer, transferring over to boxing. Now she's a world champion in MMA, and the first to ever do that, to hold a title in boxing and MMA in the biggest organization that she beat off Ronda Rousey, and her being a boxer. That made me feel good, because she's a boxer, although she started out in kickboxing. So that made me feel good, because it puts boxing on the map for other women, and that's what Holly Holm is doing. Just like Ronda put women's MMA on the map, Holly Holm, although she's an MMA champion, she's an MMA fighter, she's putting boxing on the map, because when they back and do their history on Holly Holmes, they're going to see she's a boxer. And all these boxers are coming out of the woodwork, and not that they were not there, is it that people are starting to mention them, because they're starting to use, I know Miesha Tate, who's getting ready to fight Holly Holmes, her sparring partners is Amanda Serrano. And they did a movie together. Her sister Amanda and Cindy, and Miesha, Holly Holmes, and Chris Cyborg. They all did some kind of fight movie. I don't know if it's out on theaters. It's going straight to DVD. I'm not too sure how that works. But I know that they all became friends, and I saw an article written on Miesha Tate that she's going to be using Amanda Serrano as her sparring partner for her to get ready for Holly Holmes. So it's coming. It's getting there.
Yes.
It's getting there. It's getting there.
And that's
quite exciting.
I will say this about MMA. They do such a great job of promoting not just the female fighters, even the male fighters. Unlike boxing, sometimes if you're not undefeated, they kind of criticize you harshly, but in MMA, they bring out all your best qualities, and I think you're right. I think boxing needs to take a page from MMA and start promoting their fighters the same.
Jennifer, you could have 13 losses in MMA and still be a world champion and still be considered the best. You have one loss or two loss in boxing, you're done. Not done, but they don't think like, it's like you almost have to be undefeated. Almost have to be undefeated in boxing, because it just so happens like that one loss. You hear the commentators talk about it, you hear other people talk about it, it's over. I'm like, man, that was just one loss. Like, come on, like, seriously. Or even if you are a world champion and you've got like maybe 8 losses, I know some world champions might have like 7 or 8 losses in boxing, but you'll hear people debating, because, but he has 7 losses. I'm like, dude.
Right.
Like, are you serious? It's different. It's weird. I don't understand it. But whatever MMA is doing, they're doing a great job, and I just hope boxing takes a page out of that. And I know a lot of female fighters are coming up and are being known. I know Mayweather signed his first female fighter to the Mayweather promotion. She just had her pro debut. So she's getting a lot of buzz. Amanda Serrano's going to get a lot of buzz, too, because she's going to be, although, she should have been having a lot of buzz, but her sparring Miesha Tate, people from the MMA world is going to know who Amanda Serrano is. So that's a big plus, So a lot of that, it's coming along slowly. It's coming along slowly. But, Jennifer, I don't want to take too much of your time, which I've already have. I wanted just to touch base and, I wanted to take it back, talk about your past and your future. And I wish you nothing but the best. I love to see anybody that I fought in the past become world champions, and it couldn't happen to a better person like yourself, and to be the first coming out of El Paso. You have the whole city behind you, which is a beautiful thing. You have your family, but you have the whole city, and that has to be a very humbling moment, exciting, and one of those moments like, wow, this is awesome. Any last words that you want to say before we end this interview? Any shout-outs? The floor is yours.
I just want to thank you, Lisa. I appreciate everything that you're doing and keep doing a great job. And I hope people will get opportunities to see me fight, not just my hometown, but I hope people in the U.S. will get to see more of women's boxing, period. And boxing's not dead yet. There's a lot of great champions still, and even my brother Aby, he's amazing too. And I hope he's actually been lucky enough to get some TV fights, but I hope he gets the big opportunity and gets to fight for world championship, because my brother's very talented. And
he is.
I'm very, very happy to be interviewed by you. You are so amazing, and I miss you. And tell your husband and your family that I said hi, and we'll see each other soon. I know this.
Oh, definitely. I know he still has family on Paso, and hopefully when I get up there, maybe we could take it back to old times and do some sparring sessions here.
Definitely.
So I can say, I sparred an IBF World Champion. That'd be awesome. Well, Jennifer, you have a lovely day, and thank you so much. We got to do this again. I know I'm going to be interviewing you more than just once. Your IBF World title, you're going to be defending it next month. I'm ready to see who's your opponent. I'm excited for that. And I know there's a lot of big titles out there that you want to go after, and so I wish you nothing but the best of luck to you and, of course, your camp, your team, and your family. Jennifer, you have an awesome day. Thank you so much again for coming on. This is Global Fight Talk, and I'm Lisa Marie. Again, Jennifer Han, IBF World Champion, El Paso's first champion. Won't be the last. She's going to have so many more other titles that's going to be behind her. But anyways, thank you again, Jennifer. You have a good day.
You too. Bye, Lisa.
Bye.